It feels like Savannah has seen nothing but nonstop rain the past few weeks. And while that's made for some great spooky photography for local artists, it's not that great for my videos. Since I've told you about some of Savannah's more famous ghosts and legends, I thought this week I could tell you about some of my experiences. Let's talk about my first Savannah ghosts. I knew I wanted to move to Savannah the first time I pulled onto Victory Drive. There was something magical about the city that I couldn't quite put my finger on at the time. My first apartment was in an old home on Henry Street. I lived in one of the upstairs apartments. As I was unpacking my stuff, my neighbor across the hall came over to introduce himself. He said his name was Sam and asked if I believed in ghosts. I said yes, because I had had some experiences prior to moving to Savannah. That's when he told me that his apartment was haunted.
Oh my.
Sam explained that after Hurricane Katrina, a medium from New Orleans had moved into the downstairs apartment. One day, as they were talking, she told him that the strange tapping on one of his windows was actually a ghost. She told Sam the ghost didn't mind sharing his space, but would like a blue candle on the mantle of his fireplace. Sam told me that the ghost stayed in his apartment, but might wander over occasionally to visit. As long as Sam lived there, the ghost that I called Bob never visited me, but that changed when Sam moved out. While the apartment was vacant, I noticed that my cats would stop and stare at the door leading to the shared hallway. No one was out there, so I just accepted that Sam's ghostly roommate was stopping in. It got to the point that when I noticed the cat staring at nothing, I would just say, "Hello, Bob." When new neighbors moved in, Bob stopped visiting. Of course, this wasn't my only ghost experience in Savannah. I used to work overnights at the local NBC affiliate as a morning producer. Coworkers and I would sometimes hear what sounded like footsteps in the lobby when we knew no one else was in the building. We couldn't explain it, so we just called it the station ghost. One day, I was sitting in the booth next to the studio. The morning newscast was in a commercial break, so my director and I were checking over scripts and video for the next block of the show. That is when I saw someone run in front of one of the cameras. I could see my anchors on camera, so I knew it wasn't one of them. I asked the teleprompter operator sitting in the studio if he had gotten up and walked in front of one of the cameras. He said he hadn't left his seat. I asked if anyone else was in the studio. He said no. As I turned to ask my director if he had seen the same thing, I realized that he was staring straight ahead in shock. Before I could say anything, he just nodded. He had seen someone too. That's when I knew the station ghost wasn't just a joke. This place was really haunted. One of my old coworkers said he knew exactly who the ghost was. Byron Strong had been a chief engineer at the station for decades. He had even lived in a home nearby. My coworker told me that when Byron died in the 1980s, that's when the phantom footsteps started. I guess Byron is sticking around to make sure things continue to run smoothly, which I think is kind of sweet. So tell me, where would you haunt? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Savannah ghost stories.